So hey guys, this is the most embarrassing video that I've had to make. I feel really stupid making it. It was one of the worst times for me, being coerced into confessing something I didn't even do and didn't even know why I was confessing. I just wanted everyone to be my friend again, and I'm going to explain why I confessed and what happened over those few days during the Raw Till 4 festival. So it's what really happened. So why did I confess? And it's called bullying by threat of sexual harassment charges. And it begins with understanding nominalizations. So nominalizations are words that you fill in the gaps. So if I say glass, we know what a glass is. There's no ambiguity. But if I say the word nice, well, that could mean anything. Was your massage nice? So I probably shouldn't use massage, but I'm in Thailand. So you could have had a massage that was nice for you because it was really hard. Or massage could have been nice because it was really soft. Okay? Relaxed. You know, how relaxed do you feel? This is less of a nominalization, but it still allows you to fill in the gaps of what relaxation means to you. But more importantly, liar. So have you told a lie today? Or, are you a liar? If I keep screaming at you, are you a liar? You're probably going to say, yeah, because there's some lie somewhere that you told, even if it was when you was 3 and you said that you took the apple, right? Then manipulator. Are you a manipulator? If I got 10 people screaming at you, are you a manipulator? You go inside your head and you look and you think, well, there was that time when that person called me for a room and they were very nervous, like Annie was, and I persuaded them to have confidence and that the room would be great and they'd have a great experience here. So that's manipulation, right? I got the person to do what I wanted to do, which was to take a room in the house. So I'm a manipulator, you could say so. What about sexual harassment? Well, I believe now that if I took pretty much any guy, any red-blooded guy, and got 10 women to scream at him that he's a sexual harasser, he would start to feel so guilty. Because I remember that time when he was with that girl in the bar, and he went in for the kiss and she said no, and he went in again and she said no, and then he went in again and she said yes, he sexually harassed her. Or that time when he was 12, and it's the first time, or 15, and it's the first time he's put his hand in an upper girl's jumper, and he's trying to, you know, feel her up, I guess, and she slaps his hand away, and he tries again later on. Is he a sexual harasser? So you see, it's like, if you're going to make an accusation to someone, the law requires you to be specific. They can't say to you, is it true that you was not nice to that person? And what they mean was that you punched them in the face or stole their money. If they're not going to say you are a liar, they're going to say that you deliberately evaded police justice using this sentence. Or if you're a manipulator, it's like you deliberately had this person do X, Y, Z so you could gain money from them by extortion or whatever. And then sexual harassment would be very specific. And then you have to do something that is commonly considered sexual, and is that you could definitely know what you were doing was of a sexual nature, and it was repeated. So these are roughly rough guidelines. But the point is that that night when I first met these girls, they were throwing nominalizations at me. If you listen to the tape, all you will hear is manipulator, liar, sexual harasser, manipulator, liar, sexual harasser. And if you're spinning around, you don't know which way's up at this point. So of course you're going to confess. And confess to what? To being a liar, a manipulator, and sexual harassment. You'll see in that video they made, at some point I asked, can you be more specific? Because I'm still perplexed as to what it is. And that's when I found that it was massaging a thigh. Okay, so I'm all phased out and I'm apologizing to people. I sincerely apologize to you all. I'm so sorry I was so manipulative with you. I still didn't even know why. I told them what the rents were and that was that. I will leave the house tomorrow, so they're kicking me out of the house. And I've got to come back to discuss the future of the house. Rest assured that any transaction, blah, 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 I'll be out by 12 p.m. Now, what happened was, over the course of those few days, from the 14th, 15th, 16th, you can see it here, 14, 15, 16, and 17, I started to lose my friends. They were my closest friendship group in Chiang Mai and at the festival. I made a mistake of being too close to the people in my house. I should have reached out to you guys more. I'm sorry I didn't. They started turning on me one by one. Dirty looks, dirty vibes, really not welcome in my own home, not welcome anywhere they were sitting, not talking to me. And it's like, what's going on? I feel like I'm being crucified. And look at this thread here, 14th, LOL, 15th, punch a repair kit, 16th, can we do some charts or readings? I'm just trying to reach out to her now because I know she likes the airy fairy shit. So I was like, let's do that. No reply. 17, I give up. So sorry, I can't believe what I've done to you. What have I discovered about myself? What have I done to you? Sorry for hurting you. I don't even know, look, what have I done? Charts, puncture repair kit, LOL. Up there's me talking to her about suicide and how to get through it, which I did. And she said to me, thank you for the great morning conversation. So on the 17th, she just went, I want a refund. How's that work out? How's that work out? I haven't even done anything. Jaffrey, I'd like a refund for last month. Shannon Ladd, puts, because she used to organise with everyone, she puts a big list of all the refunds that they all want. And then they tell me that they want no receiving fees. And then Jill, because she's very clever, so look, there's the request for all the refunds. And all in the same room, so Jill's sitting next to them. Maybe even someone told her this. And they said, there won't be such a thing as a HVC, I figured, High Carb Vegan Club. I hope you understand in what insecurity you brought me. Not only mentally, I put my trust on this of my future. I'm feeling already guilty. I've just given away $2,000 and she's asking, she made me feel so guilty about ruining her future. I offered her €500. I'm such a dummy. I'm embarrassed by this, friends. I'm so embarrassed by this, but I've got to put it out there so I never do it again. Then Annie twists the knot further. Is it safe for us to stay here? Is it safe for us to stay here? What have I done to these girls to make them feel it's not safe? I've supported them all the way coming out here in every single step. Bikes, food, giving them friends, giving them a home, taking them to Happy Green, giving them Oi as a mum, introducing them to everything in Chiang Mai. And I don't want any credit for it, but it doesn't deserve that they think it's not safe. So I then say basically that I need to tell them where I'm in the house. So I'm texting on my phone using it as a torch saying, I'm in the kitchen. Now I'm around the back of the laundry getting my stuff. Annie's like really on point here. She's just like, please have the PayPal transactions done within the next 30 minutes. Ruben needs cash, which you can give by at latest 12 p.m. I wish I waited for the cash because I would have woke up and not giving him a penny. But I wanted to please, you see. I still thought we were resolving some kind of problem between us. But this was already, like, they've got this secret group, which at some point maybe you get to see, I don't know yet. But going back into that, you can see actually how everything was plotted out. And it started even before I was accused of sexual abuse. But anyway, it won't take. And I said, Annie, can I sleep for a bit? I'm so tired. It's 2:16 a.m. And she said, no, complete it now. Then 11 a.m. we sit down to record a document relieving us of any responsibility for this house. Please confirm when you read this. And Ruby, I want cash. And then Shannon says, message and tell every person you have told lies to every person you have manipulated. Tell them in person. Message them. Even if they have left the festival, or create a private video and send it to them. You owe this to our reputations, for our life. You are not the victim in this. You are the abuser. This is the opportunity to make amends, to bring positivity and light to your life. Make the most of it. That's hard. That's hard. And if you're in a frazzled state, already thinking, oh my God, a girl that I really love a lot is screaming sexual abuse at me, and all my friends are concurring and want me out of the house and are scared of me. So it's a brain fray. It's called gaslighting. It's distorting your reality so you confess to crimes and people can get you to do things you want. At the end of the day, if it wasn't girls, this would not work. If this was guys doing this to me, I'd be like, you're joking, aren't you? Listen, mate, get out of my house. And I would have thrown a lot of them out. But because it's women, you kind of go into this, like, you can't behave that way. Society makes you a bad person if I threw them all out. So I'm just complying, hoping my niceness will win them over, but it was already too late. And they say Ruby's payment, $757. And then here's the screenshots for Lad, Jaffrey, Antonina, Jaffrey, and Lad again, but there was one for Jill, which I misposted it. So I then went home and I saw my guy friends. I'm a bit frazzled now. And I said, I want to be totally amicable and meet your needs, but I'm concerned about signing a document relieving all responsibility of the house while leaving you in charge of the house. This would be impractical. So you see what they wanted? They wanted me to sign a document that they are in charge of the house and I'm not in charge of that. And I'm responsible for the house, but they're in charge of it. That's not a good look. So what happens, that's 9:47, it's 9:42. So I think they must have told Jill, because they know she still has an influence over me. We all have to move. It sounds so innocent. That's 10:19, 10:21. My friend's saying to me that to leave a house I'm responsible for in the hands of 7 people who have no responsibility for this, and are kind of pissed at me, it's risky. So I haven't even got the balls to say it's my idea. And it was my friend's idea, but I should have owned it at that point. Then she said this was a blow. She said, sad thing is, we would never try to harm you. And it made me feel so guilty for putting these women in a position where they could be a risk to me. So I said, I know, we can talk about it when I come over. If I don't listen to my friend, I'm fine you staying there, to be honest. So look at the timestamps. 9:42, 10:19, 9:42, 10:19, 10:21, and then boom, and then I go here, 10:25, you can disregard that last message. So after the talk with Jill, I disregard this message. That's the power that she had over me at that time, and I'm ashamed of it. So then I sign this contract. There are currently 8 guests living in the house. Shannon Ladd, Annie Jaffrey, Claudia Urick, that's Klaudija, Urick, Inez Arnone, Antonina Subco, Anna Lara, and Jill Zedlexi. I can't even say it still. Zedletzky. The tenants have no legal attachments or responsibilities to this house. I'm fully responsible for the care and management of this property as the contracted tenant. I left Chiang Mai and will be back as of the month of June 18th. So they want the house from June 18th to July 16th for free, already having given them a month's back rent. So give them a month's back rent and they get the house for free. What brought on this level of entitlement? Well, I know what happened. A woman they call the wax woman, or the woman, told them I was renting the house for 10,000 baht, and that infuriated them. That infuriated Annie, because she's like, well, I'm paying for this house. So at that point, they decided they wanted me out, and they wanted the house, and they wanted to rent it for 10,000 baht, 1,200 baht each per month for the house. What's that? But that's not how it works. The house is more than that, plus all the bills, plus all the furnishings. It works out way, 45,000, something like this. It's not what they think. Anyway, there's all the signatures. Yeah, this one here, Anna Lara, she only moved in 2 days ago. Why is she even involved in this? Because she's a woman. That's the only connection. She moved in literally 2 days before this started. So anyway, Penny, they wanted some money. Joe, what time are you coming to talk? 3 p.m? No, 1 p.m. I spoke with Freely and Harley today, a remote meeting. Freely and Harley just said, get them out of your house, you're responsible. If they burn it down, you're fucked. Come at 1, we'll talk. And then when I went there, they just said, delete all the videos now. So I sat outside on the terrace, I started deleting a couple of videos. And then they said, we're not finished yet, come back inside. So I'm getting pushed around here like a baby. It was really embarrassing. I can't even believe I'm even having to admit this. And I said, I think you should all pack up and move now. This situation is not manageable. It will feel much better for all of you. If you are scared to stay, then do not stay. You can store Ruby's stuff at Happy Green in the big room. Once you have all left the house, I will leave the festival. I think that's fair. She's like, you called this meeting to speak to us. Come inside and speak to us alone. Now that is the key thing, inviting me into a meeting to sign a contract alone. So my only concern now is my responsibility for the house. Come back inside and we'll have a final words. I'm scared to go in, guys. It's so much heat. You go in there, all the women are sitting around holding hands and crying. Even Anna, who's been there 2 days, how much you've abused them all. It was just a massive projection. I felt like they were projecting all of their ex-boyfriends, their dads, their brothers. Every man they've ever hated in the world became Joe Best, basically. It's a phenomenal thing this has happened. It's crazy. Come back inside, we'll have our final words. And this is when they did the gaslighting, which is a form of mental abuse in which information is twisted or spun selectively admitted to favour the abuser, or false information is presented with the intent of making victims doubt their own memory, perception and sanity. So I'm in there, Jill's screaming at me, you abused me. She shouted out, you abused kids in Thailand, right? So twisted information is twisted or spun. Abused kids in Thailand, you've all heard the tape and I've got a copy of it. That's not what happened, that's not reality. And I'm panicking, I'm thinking, what are they doing? And they get me to sign this contract, or agree this contract. You will, now listen to the terms of this. You will not come to this house until we message you we're gone. You'll delete all communications with Jill and whatever copies. Get rid of all the evidence. Delete all the videos showing the house and the guest. Get rid of the evidence. All the interviews with people from the house, including the one with X. Get rid of the evidence that people had fun here. All the pictures on Facebook. Proof of leaving Chiang Mai. Like to send them a booking pass when I'm out of Chiang Mai. Agreement of sexually harassing Jill. With still no specification. Agreement that you spread lies to the community about Jill. Still no specification. And you will have no contact with X after this meeting. This is a girl that I was dating, and the group decided that I was not allowed to date her. She didn't, they did. They did gaslighting to her too. The only communication with any of us will be in this chat. You are not accused of stealing money from X. We're just asking out of concern. Delete all Happy Vegan Club's documents. I love that name, isn't it funny? Happy Vegan Club, my arse. These terms are private and not to be discussed with anyone else. Right, so I can't even talk to people about this deal. And you agree these terms are fair. Now, if I have to agree the terms are fair, do you think they're fair? And all videos and communication must be deleted 24 hours. So this was an ambush, and it was planned. I've seen all the other documents and the meetings that they had over at different hotels and whatnot. I confirm I agree to the terms and will confirm I delete all the videos. At this point, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. And I can't even listen to that audio. I feel so sick in my stomach about how smashed my brain was. And look at this photograph here. This is Happy Green, my local restaurant. I've been going there this week. I'm the only person there in the daytime, and they want me banned. I'm their only customer some days, and they want me banned. Look at them, Antonina, Jill, and Annie. They used to be I thought they were my friends. Look at this. Over what? What is it that I've even done? Can you figure it out? So they trashed my brain. Now, I've a sufferer of childhood abuse. And there's actually, when I'm in that room, I space out and I can't think, or I supplicate, or I get very angry. In this case, I supplicated. And what's going on there, and also the other thing as well, is that they'd be screaming at me going, do you feel guilty? Tell me, do you feel guilty? And I'm like, and I can't feel anything because I'm in shock. And they take that as a sign that I'm being arrogant and scream further. Well, Annie's there with a violin going, I mean, look, I don't want to sound like I'm bitching about people. It must sound like that, but I'm just telling you a story of something that happened to me that I find absolutely phenomenal, that this could even ever happen. When have you ever heard of a guy getting bullied by a group of girls for money, confessions, and this? When has that ever happened in the history of the universe? I've never heard of it. I mean, I'm shocked at this whole situation. So anyway, look, childhood trauma exposure disrupts the automatic regulation of emotional processing. I'll just quickly read it. It's not going to mean that much. Trauma-exposed youth show greater amygdala response to emotional conflict. The amygdala is where you store your emotional memories. Reduced ability to regulate emotional conflict, failure to engage amygdala PGACC, regulatory circuit, and ineffective DOPFC engagement. These findings imply simultaneous heightened sensitivity to conflicting emotional information and a lack of regulatory control over emotional processing in youth who have experienced trauma. This double hit is like to limit the ability of the child to master age-appropriate skills in social and academic domains. So I'm good in the academic stuff. I'm good when the whole situation's relaxed. Like when it's chilled out, I can do that. But you put me into a conflict and I lose my faculties. I cannot think clearly. I cannot orate very clearly. I start supplicating and please forgive me. Oh, I'm really, really sorry. Here's my wallet. Have everything you want, just to end the situation. It's a terrible shame. And I do try and train myself to be more oratory and speak better in conflicting situations, but I struggled. Even when I went to see Annie and Jill in their bedroom, I had to walk in there and I feel so tense and my mind's full of stuff and I'm in freeze state. And I told them what I tried to say and I left. And I went back again and tried again and I left. And I went back and I managed to do it on the third time. But yeah, this is one of the characteristics of trauma-based children. It's very difficult to manage conflict in a clear and clearly spoken way. So after that meeting, I went back to my hotel and I fell asleep on my bed. And after about an hour and a half, when all the emotion and all the chemicals and everything that's stirred up in that conflict situation, all the amygdala stuff settles down, I'm like, what have I done? I woke up, I'm in tears. I've got such a pain in my chest. I can't believe, it's like waking up after feeling like I felt so abused, like mentally raped. I'm absolutely 100% like, couldn't figure out what happened to me. So I called up 2 friends of mine who I didn't even know they could help. But they basically saved me. They saved me because somehow they knew what to do and they put my brain back online. And I asked with their permission, can I record this while you talk to me? We talked about 4 hours. I didn't record all of it, only like a couple of hours. But this is just like a few minutes, just a snippet of what they were doing. I mean, you'll see. Yes, there was an episode of abuse. But what I don't understand is why after that do I get these messages saying March was the best month?
Joe, you're believing it. Okay. You're still believing what they're telling you.
Right. There wasn't any abuse. Why wasn't there? I touched her. But she agreed to the massage. She agreed to the massage.
You did not do anything wrong. I'm the kind of...
I didn't. I felt so horrible when she said that to me.
You did not do any fucking thing wrong. They fucking used you, manipulated you. And that's it. The only fucking thing you did wrong was to yourself. Yeah. That's the only thing you gotta remember. Like
the only thing I did wrong was to myself.
Yeah, it's true. You're just beating yourself up.
God, they're so right. I'm still believing them. And the point is one of my biggest fears is being an abuser. Right? So when they're calling me an abuser, I'm panicking.
You would never ever hurt anybody. Ever.
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't. And
you know that about me, right?
I know that, yeah.
Because I know
like, that more than you do it.
Yeah. Right? But the other side of that is I do have a temper. So when that comes up and I feel it hurts someone, I feel horrible. So
have you ever once had your temper? Have you ever raised your temper with them?
I've raised my temper once briefly, but it's not a temper. It's more of a vibe. Like, can you do the washing up? Or I'll be like, can you do the washing up?
Don't ask him that question. He doesn't.
Let me rephrase this. Yeah. You have never raised your temper with them. You just sat here and told me that you could say no to somebody if you had the temper for it, but because they're making you feel this big, you've never had a temper.
Yeah, if I had a temper tantrum, they would be out of the house.
Exactly.
And it would be already empty.
So let's get this straight. You've never raised your temper with them.
No.
You've never abused anyone besides yourself,
So true.
right?
Yeah. I haven't abused anybody.
Think about this.
Trust me, Joe. I'm a fucking feminist. Like, I would never, ever be okay with anybody hurting a girl, abusing a girl, looking at a girl, whatever, ever.
Yeah.
I know that you're not doing anything.
I'm not an abuser.
Even if I thought it for a little bit,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here.
Yeah. It means so much to me. I'm not an abuser.
You're not. I'm
I feel so-
all about like
I'm not an
women's rights,
abuser.
women's everything, and trust me.
But to make me feel like I'm an abuser, it's just the most meanest thing that anyone could do.
But they know that about you.
They are.
Did you ever tell Jill about this?
Why are they? Yeah.
Wow.
Why are they doing this?
Because they can, because you don't respect yourself, so they don't need to respect you.
Okay, so you can see in that video, it's completely me waking up through the help of my friends, the reality of this situation. I was so twisted by this situation. I was in so much shock, couldn't think straight. And they sat down with me for a good few hours and just talked me through everything. And it brought me back online. If it wasn't for these two, I would have been in Koh Samui on a binge, and all you lot would be watching videos of me being an abuser. And I said here, it nearly worked. I was this close to, I sent a message to Annie, which I put the letter online now, immediately the next morning. I said that I was this close to leaving Chiang Mai to make up for my sins. My flights were today, but luckily there are real people in this community who were interested in more than makeup and clean plates, and they sat me down and they smashed it into my self-loathing head for 4 hours. You're not leaving the festival. You did nothing wrong. You have a right to be here. The only crime you've done is not respecting yourself, and she's used it to try and break you. Don't break. Respect yourself. Don't break. So that's what I said. And then they, next day, I told them that they got to get out of the house, and they've all moved out by 12 a.m. and they said they were going to do another run through. So they did, and this is how they left the house. This is how they left the house. It's Ruby's room. Ruby and Antonina's bathroom. Antonina's room, it's not so bad. It's Annie's room, it's always tidy in there. Got a bathroom. Then the outside of the house. This is where they raided all the gym equipment, taking all the balls and yoga, the ball and yoga mat. And this is Shannon's room. This is Innes's room. Sorry, Innes, I couldn't find another photo. This is Pen. Pen threw away my PB2 powder. She poured it down the sink out of spite. This is stuff that helps me eat more bananas. They've chucked it down the sink. And that's the bathroom. Yeah, and this was the PB2 powder. I got it sent over from England. A friend of mine brought it, and then Pen poured it down the sink in spite. Didn't even take it with him. And then stuff was missing. 2 yoga mats and a exercise ball. And there was a bunch of plates and jars and lids and stainless steel straws that I just got brought out with a cleaner inside. 7 brown small knives, the PB2, and some bags of carob. They just basically decided that they had an entitlement to all my possessions and took whatever they felt they wanted to because they were moving out. And then they trashed my name. They got together in this gossip group, 9 girls gossiping about you. You got no stand a chance. They speak to 3 people an hour. That's like 27 people an hour are getting fed this one-sided story. I don't hold anybody in the festival responsible for not speaking to me or stopping speaking to me or thinking I'm some kind of evil person or rapist, because you didn't stand a chance. You got 9 women, all pretty cool, all pretty powerful, big YouTube channels and whatever, telling you that I've been molesting them. It's after, but none of them told you about any of this. How many? Put your hands up. Who's been told about this? So once the gossip campaign kicked in, I had to stop going to the festival. I'd go somewhere and the guys would be like young men giving you dirty looks, and the women that you used to have friendly connections with would be like, and you just feel like scum. You really do. Everyone's trying to call me. Yeah, so the gossip campaign kicked in, and then there's they trashed my plans. So I was really fed up of the all-girl house at one point. I was become like a sorority, and I wasn't enjoying myself. So I thought, why don't I get rid of a few people and bring in some diabetics, and then hire someone to come and run a program here, like Raw Till 4 or High Raw, for diabetics. And she agreed, and she was going to start in August. But then I got this message saying, of course, after this drama, I have 0 interest to stay at your house. That's it. That is why I confessed. I was under such duress from so many people, and my whole friendship group had turned against me. Seb, by, she knew so much about me and the relationships of all the girls in the house. And then there was the screaming at me, the gaps where I was up. And one of the things that Jaffrey's use of the mental illness in my family. My brother has schizophrenia, and she'd be like, "You're being schizophrenic. Why are you being schizophrenic?" And this is stuff that's hidden from public view. You know, you're flipping and all this kind of stuff. And when you have mental illness in the family, you do sometimes think to yourself, "Am I mad?" You know, you do think to yourself, especially with the binge eating, you think, "I must be mad." And maybe there is mental illness in our family, but my family, we do our best to deal with the cards we've been given in life. We don't, hide away or anything like that. We really stand up to what it is, what we face, and we do the best we can. And I think it's actually abhorrent to use someone's family, illnesses as a way to sign false confessions. So basically, if you're ever in a situation where you are being coerced to sign a confession, or if anybody ever accuses you, you have to call the police. If I'd have called the police immediately, I wouldn't have been entrapped into this web of where I'm forced to speak to people alone and sign confessions alone, and are disallowed from having advocates. Point, you have to come to the fast, and I was too slow. When one of your friends for harassment, and all of the other friends agree, you are no longer among friends. And that's the mistake I made. I thought I was going for an appeasement, for a resolution, but really this was a witch hunt from day one, because they wanted the house. They were pissed off with the fact that they thought I was ripping them off, where I wasn't, because they just didn't understand the economics. I've got a finance video. By the way, the audio keeps skipping. I'm not quite sure why, but anyway, I just wanted to say, I appreciate the patience of everyone at the festival. Some people like these videos, some people don't, but I do feel it's my right to put out my side of the story. All of this happened during the festival, so I think it's valid that I make these videos and share them with you.